Hello dear students, in this video I'll continue with financial mathematics. The next topic is sinking fund. Now let us see what is a sinking fund and the difference between a sinking fund and a savings account. A sinking fund, it is a fund established by a company or business entity by setting aside revenue over a period of time to fund a future capital expense or repayment of a long-term debt. So a sinking fund, it is a fund which is established by a company which is used for repayment of a long-term debt or for a future capital expense like purchase of machinery and so on. So it is a fund that is accumulated for the purpose of paying off a financial obligation at some future designated date. So this is sinking fund. Here we have the difference between sinking fund and savings account. In both sinking fund and savings account, it involves setting aside some amount of money in the future. The difference is that in sinking fund, it is set up for a particular purpose, whereas the money in savings account, it can be used for any purpose. That is the difference. Now we will see the formula for the periodic payment R. The periodic payments of rupees R made at the end of each period required to accumulate a sum of rupees A over n periods with interest charged at rate I per period. It is given by R is equal to A upon S at an angle N for I rate per period. Now this S at an angle I for I rate per period, it is the future value of annuity and it is given by 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1 upon I. So this when we simplify, we get A into I upon 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1. On the other hand, when R is given and if we want to find A, we can find it as A is equal to R into 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1 upon I. So we can use this formula to find R when A is given, I and N is given. R is the size of each installment or payment, I is the rate per period, N is the number of installments and A is the lump sum amount to be accumulated. If R is given and if we want to find A, then also we can cross multiply and we can find A when R is given. Here we have to use this formula when the periodic payments have to be made at the end of each period. When the periodic payment is made at the end of each period, we have to use this formula. When the periodic payments are made at the beginning of each period, required to accumulate a sum of rupees A over n periods with interest charged at rate I per period, it is given by A is equal to R into S at an angle of n plus 1 for I rate per period minus 1. Or it is R into 1 plus I the whole raised to n plus 1 minus 1 upon I. There is 1 minus 1 outside, that should be remembered. Then minus 1. We can find R when A, I and N are given using this relation. Again, R is the size of each installment, I is the rate per period, N is the number of installments and A is the lump sum amount to be accumulated. Now we will see few MCQs based on sinking fund. First question, a person has set up a sinking fund in order to have rupees 1 lakh after 10 years for his children's college education. How much money should be set aside biannually into an account paying 5% per annum, compounded half yearly? So here the amount in the sinking fund is given, it is rupees 1 lakh. So A is rupees 1 lakh. And next we have the rate per period I. So it is set aside in an account paying 5% interest per annum and it is compounded semi-annually. So for 1 year it is 5%. So for every 6 months it is 5% upon 2 or it is 0.05 by 2 which is 0.025. And then the number of payments is, it is required after 10 years and the amount is, it is set aside biannually. So the number of payments made is 10 into 2 which is 20. We need to find R. Need to find how much amount should be set aside biannually. So R is A into I upon 1 plus I the whole raised to n minus 1. A is 1 lakh, I is 0.025 upon 1 plus 0.025. The whole raised to n is 20 minus 1. So this is equal to, here we have 3 decimal places. So if we cancel these 3 zeros, we will have 25 into 100, 2500 upon, here 1.025 the whole raised to 20, the value is given as 1.6386. So it is 1.6386 minus 1. So it is 2500 upon 0.6386. Now we have to divide this. Now this is the only thing which will take some time. So it is better if we practice division. So here we have 0.6386. So I am adding 4 more zeros to remove the decimal point. Divided by 6386. Here we have 25, 6 4s are 24, but then it will be more. So let us take 3 here. So this, when we subtract, we get 5842. Bring the next 0 here. Here if we see, we are having 58 here. 9 6 are 54. So let us try 9. So this, when we subtract, we get 946. Then the next 0. So here if we see the options, the first option is 3914.81. So if we are very sure about this division, we can choose option A. But let me complete it. If we bring the next 0, here we have, so the correct option is option A, 3914.81. So this is equal to 3914.81. So the amount that should be set aside biannually is 3914.81. Moving on to the next question. A company intends to create a sinking fund to replace at the end of 20th year assets costing rupees 5 lakhs. Calculate the amount to be retained out of profit every year if the interest rate is 5%. Given 1.05 the whole raised to 20 is the value is given and the options are given here. So here again, the amount in the sinking fund A is given, it is 5 lakhs. And then I is given, the interest rate is, it is 5% because the amount is retained out of profit every year. So we can take 5% directly. It is compounded per annum. So I is 0.05 and N is, we need the amount at the end of 20th year. So N is 20. Every year we have to find the amount that should be deposited. R we do not know. So R is equal to A into I upon 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1. So it is 5 lakhs into 0.05 upon 1 plus 0.05 the whole raised to N is 20 minus 1. So here we have 0.05. If we remove these 2 zeros, we will have 5,000 into 5, which is 25,000. So it is 25,000 upon 1.05 the whole raised to 20 is 2.6532. 2.6532 minus 1. So it is 25,000 upon 1.6532. So again dividing this will take time. To remove decimal point, adding 4 zeros. So 1 time 16532. When we subtract, we get 8468. Then bring the next 0 here. Here if we see 16, 16 5s are 80. So let us try 5. So this when we subtract, let us bring the next 0. Again we cannot have 2, 16 2s are 32. So let us have 1. So if we bring the next 0 here, we can have 2. So this when we subtract, we get 3616. Let us bring the last 0 here. So again we can use 2. We get 33064. Again this when we subtract, we get 3096 and so on. Now if we check the options, we can see that the options are 15,122.18, 15,322.18, 15,422.18 and 15,022.18. So we are getting 15,122 when we divide this. So the correct option is option A. This is equal to 15,122.18. Moving on to the next question. A machine costs a company rupees 52,000 and its effective life is estimated to be 25 years. A sinking fund is created for replacing the machine by a new model at the end of its lifetime when its scrap realizes a sum of rupees 2,500 only. The price of the new model is estimated to be 25% more than the price of the present one. Find what amount should be set aside at the end of each year out of the profit for the sinking fund if it accumulates at 3.5% compounded annually. So the machine costs 52,000 and its effective life is 25 years. Sinking fund is created to replace this. Its scrap value will realize 2,500 only. Scrap value is the value of the machine at the end of its life. And it is also given the price of the new machine is estimated to be 25% more than the price of the present one. So we need to find the amount that should be set aside at the end of each year so that the sinking fund accumulates 3.5% compounded annually. So the cost of the new machine it is given, it is 25% more than the cost of the present one. So cost of the new machine will be 52,000 plus 25% of 52,000. So this is 4. So this is equal to 65,000. And it is also given the scrap value is 2,500. So the amount in the sinking fund A, it is 65,000 minus the scrap value. So it is 62,500. And then I is given as 3.5% which is compounded annually. So it is 0.035. And next we have N is 25 years. Its effective life is 25 years. So we need the sinking fund amount at the end of 25 years. So we can find R as A into I upon 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1. So here A is 62,500, I is 0.035 upon 1 plus 0.035 the whole raised to N is 25 minus 1. So here we have 0.035. So if we remove these two zeros, we will have 625 into 3.5. So let me do it here. 625 into 3.5. So this is 2187.5 upon here 1.035 the whole raised to 25 is given as 2.3632. So this is 2.3632 minus 1 will be 1.3632. So again we have to divide this 2187.5 divided by 1.3632. So this when we divide, we get it as 1604.6. So here the correct option is option A, 1604.6. Moving on to the next question. A company establishes a sinking fund to provide for payment of rupees 2,50,000 debt maturing in 4 years. Contributions to the fund are being made at the beginning of every year. Find the amount of annual deposit if the interest is 18% per annum. So here a company establishes a sinking fund to provide for rupees 2,50,000 debt and it is maturing in 4 years. And here contributions are being made at the beginning of every year. So here it is made at the beginning of every year. We need to find the amount of annual deposit when the interest is 18% per annum. So here A is 2,50,000 and then I is 18% per annum. It is 0.18 and N is 4 years. Since the contributions are made at the beginning, we need to use the formula A is equal to R into S at an angle N plus 1 at I rate per period minus 1. Or it is equal to R into 1 plus I the whole raised to N plus 1 minus 1 upon I. Then there is 1 minus 1 outside. So this implies 2,50,000 is equal to R into 1 plus I is 0.18 the whole raised to N plus 1. Here N is 4 years. The whole raised to 4 plus 1 minus 1 upon I is 0.18 and then there is 1 minus 1 outside. So this is equal to R into here 1.18 the whole raised to 5 it is given as 2.288. 2.288 minus 1 upon 0.18 minus 1. So it is R into 1.288 upon 0.18 minus 1. So this is 128.8 upon 18. So 128.8 upon 18. Shifting the decimal places here to the right. 2 decimal places to the right, we will get 128.8 upon 18. So this when we simplify, it is 7.15. So it is R into 7.155 minus 1. Or from this we get R as 2,50,000 upon 6.155. So this 2,50,000 divided by 6.155. Now this when we divide, we get it as 40,617.38. So the correct option is option C, 40,617.38. Moving on to the next question. A company sets aside a sum of rupees 1,000 at the end of each year in a sinking fund so that at the end of 10 years, it would amount to a balance sufficient to replace the machinery. Assume that the cost of machinery remains constant at the end of 10 years and that money earns 5% per annum compound interest. Find the cost of machinery. So here the amount that is set aside at the end of each year, it is given. R is given as rupees 1,000 and the amount in the sinking fund is required after 10 years. And the payment earns 5% per annum compound interest. We need to find the cost of the machine. So we need to find A. Here R is given. R is 1,000, I is 5% and N is 10 years. We need to find A. So A is equal to R into 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1 upon I. So R is 1,000 into 1 plus 0.05 the whole raised to 10 minus 1 upon 0.05. So this is 1,000 upon 0.5 is 1,000 into 100 by 5. So it is 20,000 into 1.05 the whole raised to 10 is given as 1.629. 1.629 minus 1. So this is 20,000 into 0.629. So here we can remove these 3 zeros and shift the decimal point after 3 decimal place. So we get 20 into 629. So it is 12,580. So the correct option is option A, rupees 12,580. So this is the amount in the sinking fund at the end of 10 years when a payment of rupees 1,000 is made at the end of every year and money earns 5% per annum. Moving on to the next question. A textile company has raised funds in the form of 5,000 zero coupon bonds worthing rupees 1,100 each. The company wants to set up a sinking fund for repayment of bonds which will be after 7 years. Determine the amount of periodic contribution if the annualized rate of interest is 6% and contribution is done quarterly. So here the company has raised 5,000 zero coupon bonds. Zero coupon bonds are bonds which are sold at a discount and it is redeemed at par. And the face value of the bond is rupees 1,100 each. So after 7 years, that is the maturity period of the bond is 7 years. After 7 years, the company has to repay 5,000 into 1,100, which is 55 lakhs amount for these zero coupon bonds. So the amount in the sinking fund should be 5,000 into 1,100. And then the annualized rate of interest is 6% and contribution is done quarterly. So using all this information, we have to find the amount of periodic contribution R. So here A is 5,000 into 1,100. One more point about zero coupon bond is that these bonds are sold at a discount and it is redeemed at par and no periodic dividend payments or coupon payments are made for such zero coupon bonds. Only they are sold at a discount and at the time of redemption, it will be redeemed at this face value. It may be sold at 700 or 800 rupees and finally it may be redeemed at this value. So this is rupees 55 lakhs. And then next we have I is 6% and it is compounded quarterly. So 6% by 4, which is 0.015. Next we have N. N is the bond should be redeemed after 7 years. Contribution is done quarterly. So N is 7 into 4, which is 28. So we have R as A into I upon 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1. So using this we can find R. R is equal to 55 lakhs into I is 0.015 upon 1 plus 0.015 the whole raised to 28 minus 1. So here we have 0.015. So if we remove these 3 zeros, this decimal point will go after 3 places. We have 5,500 into 15. So 5,500 into 15. So this is equal to 15 5s are 75, 15 plus 5 82. 82,100 upon 1.015 the whole raised to 28. It is given as 1.5172. 1.5172 minus 1. So this is 82,500 upon 0.5172. So this when we simplify, we get it as 1,59,512.9. So the closest value to this is 1,59,513. The correct option is option A. The last question in sinking fund, a machine is bought for rupees 3,20,000. Its effective life is 8 years, after which its salvage value would be rupees 25,000. It is decided to create a sinking fund to replace this machine at the end of its effective life by making half-yearly payments that will earn an interest of 8% per annum compounded half-yearly. If it is known that the cost of the machine increases by 5% per annum, calculate the amount of each payment to the sinking fund. So here we can see that a machine is bought for 3,20,000 and its effective life is 8 years. Its salvage value would be rupees 25,000. It should be replaced after 8 years. So a sinking fund is set up that will earn interest of 8% per annum compounded half yearly. And it is also said the cost of the machine increases by 5% per annum. So this is one additional step that we have to do in sinking fund. We need to calculate the amount of each payment. Here half yearly payments are made. Here it is given that the cost of the machine increases by 5% per annum. So it means the cost of the new machine after 8 years, it will be the future value of annuity of 3,20,000, where N is 8 and I is 5% or 0.05. So it will be 3,20,000 into 1 plus 0.05 the whole raised to 8. 1.05 the whole raised to 8 is given as 1.4774. So it is 3,20,000 into 1.4774. So if we remove these 4 zeros, this decimal place will go 4 places to the right. So it is 14774 into 32. So this is equal to 472768. So the cost of the new machine will be 4,72,768. Since the scrap value is rupees 25,000, the amount in the sinking fund A will be 4,72,768 minus 25,000. So this is equal to 4,47,768. Now we need to find R. I is, here it is given, the payments are done half yearly. So I will be 8% per annum compounded half yearly. So it is 8% by 2, which is 4%, or it is 0.04. And N is, its effective life is 8 years. Since the payments are done half yearly, N will be 8 into 2, which is 16. So we have R as A into I upon 1 plus I the whole raised to N minus 1. So A is 4,47,768 into I is 0.04 upon 1.04 the whole raised to 16 minus 1. So this, when we simplify, so it is 17,910.72 upon 1.04 the whole raised to 16 is 1.873 minus 1. So this is 0.873. So this, when we divide, we get it as 20,516. So the correct option is option C, 20,516. So the amount of each payment to the sinking fund is 20,516. So this is one extra step which we have to do. Since it is given, the cost of the machine increases by 5% per annum. So these are the various models in sinking fund questions. I hope this video was useful for you. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.